Hey guys, it's Jeff from Team Flyfang here, doing another deck profile for the Winter Sork event, and we have the runner-up, Jase.
Oh yeah.
You guys might remember him from the goat, the other goat event. Yeah,
the other winner box.
Other winner box. Everyone's repeating on my channel. Too many people are just winning all the same time. Anyway, let's get into the profile. What did you play?
So I played Chaos Control. I really do enjoy playing Controls. Control was one of the first decks I had success with. Before Chaos was even meta, I was playing it. And over time I got a little bit scared about the burn matchup. Every time I picked up Control, I would run into Panda Burn and had a few bad times. But I thought, you know what? It's gonna be brave. I'm gonna bring it. If I play Panda Burn, whatever, we'll just play the matchup. I don't have to have the best best matchup against everything. Play a deck that I love.
No, that's fair enough. Let's get to it.
So this one, you got the BLS and one Sorcerer.
One Sorcerer.
With your Thunder Dragons to set everything up.
Yep.
Then we got one Dekochu, two Spy, two Faith.
Yep.
So those are all the flips, and then one of Sangan, Serpent, Asura Priest, Tsukuyomi, Breaker, and Tribe. So there's some different things here. So it's 16 monsters, including the Thunder Dragons. So a bit lower monster count because you are playing, scapegoats, metas, which I'll show in a moment. The Asura Priest stands out as being a little bit odd as well, but I found that this is actually really important for being kind of like a floater beater.
Yeah.
Because you're running so low monsters, you just need a way to deal damage, put pressure without it dying. So the fact that Priest keeps going back to hand, it gives you that extra push.
That makes sense.
Because, you can't win unless you take your opponent's life points to 0.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. And yeah, exactly, with your low monster count, it just keeps itself alive.
And the one Sorcerer is, we are running less darks despite meta, but with the control package, you don't really want a brick.
Yeah.
Like a normal Chaos Turbo might run two Sorcerers, but they're not running the other boss cards.
Yeah.
So I'll put those aside.
None of us are running.
We're all walking.
So the control package is 2 swaps, 2 metas, and 3 scapegoat.
How was swaps for you today?
They were really good. I was fortunate that I was able to get some really nice combos with Scapegoat. So it's super hard for your opponent to play around swap when you have 4 tokens on board. And it actually won a few games. Just my opponent had one game my opponent had 3 monsters in defense position.
Yep.
They had 1600 life points, and I was able just to put 2 tokens in attack, swap. They had to let a token go through, and I was able to attack over it.
That's crazy.
So you can force some damage in that way. The others, spell traps, some of the staples.
They're pretty straightforward.
With 2 knocks. So one thing that does stand out is I'm not running MST.
Yep.
MST is a really good card, but Room's a problem, then it's a card you can consider putting on the side for those burn matchups. And as I said, I decided I'm just going to play it.
I'm a good guy.
And not worry, about burn in game 1 anyway.
Yep.
Of course not.
Asura Priest is also really good with swaps.
Oh yeah, 100%. That combo where it just comes back to you at the end phase, and you just basically have stolen their monster for free. It's actually just nice.
And having this many combo cards here is another reason why you bring, you do one Sork.
Yep.
And there's something else I'll mention about Thunder Dragon actually does become a bit more of an important monster in this deck too. Because you don't want to get stuck with a restrictor on board with no way to turn it off, and Thunder Dragon can tribute it away.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're only running 1 Tsukuyomi, which I think is the correct number with just 2 mana. Now, with the traps, interestingly, running 3 Jar of Greed, then Mirror Ring TT, and some of the interesting ones: 1 Reiki Break, 2 Solemn, 1 Dust Shoot.
How are those today?
They were really good. I did have to be careful about Solemn going the time, like make sure that I did take it out. But Solemn came in clutch, winning a lot of games. The Jar of Greeds are really important for getting your combo pieces.
Yep.
But the reason you're running these over Upstart, despite Upstart being faster, is life points.
Yep.
It's super important. Like, it's the reason why you got this priest here, because you're low monsters. You are playing a more control style deck. If you give your opponent 1,000 life points, it becomes really hard. And this is one of the few decks that can run free Jar and not really get punished for it, because you are stalling the game out with scapegoats. So you can afford to be a bit slower. And in a slower game, in a long game, Solemn's super good as well. If you're going to the end game, the only way your opponent can win is an OTK combo, like Heavy, a Tribe, a BLS,
Which
and
even
Solemn
then-
stops that.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Bought it so that other
Dust
people
Shoot
can't use it.
is interesting at 1.
It's
The idea here, I guess, is 1 is better than 0. Your opponent
Okay.
has to play around it, and even if they don't, it's going to be live then.
Yeah.
And you can't really brick on it either, because again, like, you're really cutting down on cards that are going to brick, like the 1 Sork, the 1 Dust Shoot, because these cards are going to, if you're drawing these and in the wrong order, you can't really afford. You need more live cards alongside that.
Yep.
The 1 Regeki Break with the Thunder Dragons is because you don't want to discard all of them.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
you are using these Thunder Dragons for tributes, to get rid of Restrict or put a Belter in play, or even just an extra monster that's just 600 beater.
Yep.
So you're less worried about having to discard them all the time to set up Sork, because you're running less Sork. Ratios feel really good. There was an online player, Geist, who kind of started these ratios doing the Jars, the 1 Sork, the 1 Reiki Break, and I think it's a really good way to play Chaos Control. A few Chaos Controls will run 2 Breaks, 2 Sork, and maybe not even Jars, and yes, they have a lot of boss monsters, but they just brick.
No, that's fair enough.
So that's the main.
Alright, let's get into... Is the extra deck, basically. Or the fusion deck.
Oh yeah, the fusion deck is,
Pretty
you can
standard.
run everything. So my fusion deck is standard. Shout out to Scapegoats and Restrict, but
Yep.
just flaring through it. Oh, and of course Sandwich. There's a few interesting cards, I guess, that you don't see. Like, you don't always see a Gilter or a Sandwich, or even a
What's that?
Dark Flare Knight.
Did I see a Jama King?
Yes, you saw a Jama King. I mean, do you want to know why he's here?
Why is he here?
So, I've actually won games with a Jama King, where you have Sork, you meta,
Yeah.
and you make a read in the mirror match of your opponent or against Reasoning Gate that they have a Scapegoat. They either have to flip Scapegoat then there, or if they let a Jama King, if they let meta go through, you can go in the King,
Oh,
lock
and
the
you
board,
lock-
they can't flip Scapegoat.
That's actually kind of funny.
And I have won games like that where I read they were sitting on a Scapegoat and they didn't respond to the meta, and King came out.
That's so awkward.
Dark Flare Knight, very, very rare you summon him. He doesn't take battle damage.
Mm.
The one time I've ever actually summoned him was to kill a Big Shield Gardener
Okay.
when I only had 300 life points. And
Is that the one that summons the Mirage?
Yep. But you don't really summon Mirage. It's more just for the effect that you can't take battle damage.
Yep.
So I was low life points. I needed to attack into it to turn to attack.
Honestly, I just remember it from the anime. Literally.
And of course, Sandwich is just a personal challenge. I'm
Yep.
trying to. I've been trying for multiple years, maybe 4 or 5 years, to win a game with Sandwich, bring someone's life points to 0. It'll happen one day.
That's what she gets for talking back.
Great card. Love that card.
100%.
But the side deck's a real thing.
Alright, let's get into the side.
So I made some meta choices for our tournament. There was a Monarch player I lost to a previous winner box, so I had a second Priest to help push against that. There's so much reasoning gate,
Yeah,
post
like
included,
myself.
so got a Karibo, keep me alive.
Yep.
Good with metas as well. I have seen an empty jar, so we got a Neko Main King.
Let's go, money.
Got to be careful.
Just fill it.
The against Warrior, you got Zombraya, Sakus. You know, I've already got a good main against Warrior, but they're still solid. And Zombraya can also kill King Tiger Wangu, Kaiku. You can out those problem cards. Got a second Dust Shoot if I'm going against, you know, Chaos Turbo going first. One Mind Control for that same reason. Against Burn or anywhere, I think it's good. MST, of course.
Yep.
A second Regeki Break.
Yep.
It's good against Burn, even if you have to discard real cards. Like, you know, you need more answers. A Mobius, if you're playing against Stole and things are really slow, this will probably be more impactful than a Dust Tornado.
Yep.
And going into Swiss rounds and Burn, a Emergency Provisions and a Walk.
Walk. Pretty standard reasoning there.
The reason for Provisions over a second Walk is the low monster count. You're
Yeah.
not going to get as much life points or have as many options to just walk multiple times.
Even though I
Yep.
have to
And you're running free Scapegoat, free Jar of Greed, a lot of spell and traps. You can get a massive Provisions going into time if needed.
No, that's fair enough. Look, I'm actually going to be low on bat right now, so I might have to cut it short here. So thank you very much for the deck profile, and thank you for
talk to him
making second place in the Winner Sork event. Thanks again, and like and subscribe.
anymore.